What's up everyone, Super Nerd Daniel here once again. Get out your giant conspiracy theory boards and strap on your tinfoil hats, cause I've got some Pokemon Sun and Moon speculation for you. It's been a couple days since the most recent trailer dropped for Pokemon Sun and Moon, and boy howdy did we get a lot of information from it. Not only did we see a bunch of new Pokemon and get introduced to the mysterious Aether Foundation, but we were also introduced to a few new strange and rather powerful creatures as well. The first of these is called Type Null, a Pokemon that's quite obviously some sort of Frankenstein-esque amalgam of different Pokemon body parts. The other is called UB01 and is the first of what is being referred to as Ultra Beasts. These creatures are apparently feared for being a potential threat to both people and Pokemon due to their power, and according to the Pokemon Sun and Moon website, each is referred to by a code name for some mysterious reason. I think it's fairly obvious that neither Type Null nor UB01, or any of the Ultra Beasts for that matter, are naturally occurring Pokemon. Rather, these are both Pokemon created by man, brought to life by the power of science. Now one might obviously jump to the conclusion that the Team Rocket-esque Team Skull might be behind the creation of Type Null. After all, Team Skull's enforcer Gladion has one, as seen in the Japanese version of the trailer, and confirmed on the Pokemon Sun and Moon website, but from what we've seen, Team Skull doesn't really appear to be the kind of organization with the know-how, or the budget for that matter, to create some Frankenstein-like composite Pokemon. Hell, on the Sun and Moon website it says that all Team Skull grunts have to buy their own uniforms. If Team Skull's leader Guzma can't be bothered to shell out some Pokédollars for uniforms for his cronies, you think he's behind Type Null? It's doubtful at best. But you know who probably does have the means, and the budget, and is living on an artificial island created by the power of science? The Aether Foundation. The Aether Foundation live on an artificial island in the middle of Alola known as the Aether Paradise. The short bit that we saw from them in the trailer says that they care for Pokemon targeted by Team Skull, and they provide care and safety to other Pokemon who need a bit more protection. It all seems pretty straightforward, until you look at the official Pokemon Sun and Moon website and see that the Aether Foundation's description says that they are also conducting various research projects. Perhaps one such project is the creation of composite Pokemon. Type Null is very likely an example of a genetic chimera Pokemon. Chimeras are often spoken about in mythology, being creatures with characteristics and physical traits of other animals. The oldest reference in literature to such a monster is in the Iliad by Homer, in which Homer describes the creature as a thing of immortal make, not human, lion-fronted and snake behind, a goat in the middle, and snorting out the breath of the terrible flame of bright fire. Chimera-like animals can also exist in genetics, though not quite to the same extreme as the mythological version. Genetic chimeras are a single organism composed of cells from different zygotes. Based on its description on the Sun and Moon website, Type Null is a rather extreme genetic chimera, and the description goes on to further indicate that it was made as it was to adapt to any situation, and that, to complete a certain mission, there was a need of a Pokemon powerful enough to rival those Pokemon often spoken about in mythology. Now, I don't know about you, but I think it's pretty obvious that Type Null was created with the sole purpose of being able to combat and defeat legendary Pokemon, and it's likely that Team Skull wants to use their access to Gladion's Type Null to be able to capture Solgaleo or Lunala, depending on your version. Of course, that begs the question of just what the Aether Foundation were planning on doing with Type Null, or with the Alolan legendaries, for that matter. But then how did Team Skull's Gladion even get Type Null in the first place? That I'm not certain of, but it could honestly be as simple as Team Skull stealing the Chimera from its likely creators, the Aether Foundation. And that's not the only way that these organizations could be linked. Husamine, the Aether president, bears a very strong resemblance to not only Gladion, the enforcer of Team Skull, but another character, one whose reveal brought the news that she would be very important to the story of Sun and Moon, Lily, Professor Kukui's mysterious assistant. All three characters are very light-skinned, in stark contrast to many people in the Alola region with their dark tan skin, all with blonde hair and similar-looking styles, and all with the same green eyes. However, the three all seem to have very different attitudes towards Pokemon. Husamine says she wants to be like a mother and give her love to all Pokemon, both from Alola and from distant worlds, whereas Gladion prides himself on strong Pokemon battles, and Lily is the exact opposite, taking a strong displeasure to making Pokemon fight. But despite their different ethical stances on Pokemon, the three must have some deeper connection beyond the aesthetic. In fact, I'm willing to bet that Lily is either part of the Aether Foundation, or at the very least is associated with them in some way, and I believe the biggest connection between the two lies in the first of the mysterious Ultra Beasts, UB01. According to the Pokemon Sun and Moon website, the Aether Foundation is conducting research on the Ultra Beasts, another hint that they may in fact be behind them, by the way, and that UB01 specifically is composed of a glass-like substance, constantly changing changing shape. While evidence of something like a survival instinct can be observed in UB-01, no one knows whether it has a will of its own or any emotions. It's said that, for some reason, its movements resemble those of a young girl. A young girl named Lily, perhaps? I mean, if that's not enough of a dead giveaway that UB-01 is connected to Lily, I mean, just look at it! Its body, or at least the shape its body is currently taking, clearly resembles Lily's hat and hair. Again, this is the point where we're just speculating due to a lack of hard evidence about these things, but the Aether Foundation likely created both Type Null and the Ultra Beasts, the former of which was stolen by Team Skull and given to Gladion, or perhaps stolen by Gladion himself so that he could be their enforcer, while the Ultra Beasts, which again are all referred to by code names, something that generally only happens when they're created by science, maybe the Aether Foundation's later creations, perhaps a more perfect version of something of which Type Null could be considered a crude prototype. And for this reason, even if Team Skull are the obligatory evil team of thugs you stop because LOL protagonist wins, I believe the Aether Foundation are truly the big bads of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and one of your primary goals will be to stop them from doing whatever it is they're doing with the horrifically powerful Ultra Beasts. Okay, but now I want to know what you guys think. What are your best conspiracy theories about Type Null, the Aether Foundation, and the Ultra Beasts? Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe for more Pokemon conspiracy theories and speculations like this in the future. See you next time, Pokemon trainers. Super Nerd Daniel, out!